Hey everyone, Temporal here, and today we're going to cover some news. We did find that this piece here, and we do know that enough of you have financial interests, etc., that watch this channel, that we're going to be covering some of that. But for this one specifically, the news we saw was AMC says it'll soon let you pay for your movie ticket in Bitcoin. And this immediately raises the question like, oh, is this some new awesome move? Is this good for AMC? Is this good for Bitcoin? It's almost certainly good for Bitcoin. Or is this just like the death throes of AMC going, hey, we don't know how to stay relevant. We don't know how to survive in this new economy. Movie theaters, their recovery after the pandemic really seems to be in question. So they're just throwing anything they possibly can at the wall and seeing if it can stick. So I certainly have thoughts on that. I'm sure you guys all have thoughts as well, and I will get into your thoughts. But when it comes to your thoughts, go ahead and throw them up in chat. If you want to jump to the front of the line while I'm reading through the article, you can interrupt me with super chats, and I'll address those. Otherwise, we'll cover the article, we'll cover my thoughts, we'll cover your thoughts, and then we might cover any other comment sources we have or the like and see where things take us. But here we go. So, this is CNN Business reporting. AMC is jumping on the crypto bandwagon. In an earnings call Monday, the theater chain announced that it would start rolling out technology to let moviegoers in the United States pay for their tickets and snacks in Bitcoin by the end of the year. I've had to learn more in the past 6 months about blockchain and cryptocurrency than I learned about it in the entire decade before that, said CEO Adam Aaron. That's not really surprising. I mean, if you're thinking about working it into your business, and while your business may be struggling, you still do own or you're still the CEO for a very large business there. It's a much bigger endeavor to potentially take that on than a little bit of personal investing there. So, yeah, no real surprise for Adam there. He added that the company was also exploring how else AMC can participate in this new cryptocurrency universe and were quite intrigued by potentially lucrative business opportunities. Okay, so they're looking for other ways that they can get involved, sure. For now, the movie would allow customers to, excuse me. For now, the move would allow customers to buy tickets and concessions online using Bitcoin for all of AMC's US theaters. And Aaron said that since we had to do the IT programming to accept Bitcoin anyways, they're simultaneously writing the code to accept Apple Pay and Google Pay for online purchases at their US theaters. Okay, so they found that easy to do, or he's over just kind of brushing over it and going, we need money, quick, let's spend money to make money, whatever it takes to get more ways to accept money here, which you can understand. Again, there's definitely some hurting going on here. Okay. Investors cheered the news. AMC shares jumped 5.3% in after hours trading. Bitcoin was up 5.5% Monday night from a day earlier. As cryptocurrencies become more mainstream, a growing number of companies are exploring how to incorporate them into their business. Last month, virtual currencies soared after bullish comments from Elon Musk, they always do, and Jack Dorsey, the CEOs of Tesla and Twitter, respectively. Musk had disclosed at the time that two of his companies, Tesla and SpaceX, both owned Bitcoin. And this was key because it sort of revealed that Tesla hadn't sold off its Bitcoin. There was concerns when he previously came out. Musk has been back and forth on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went up when he announced that Tesla had purchased a lot, but then it was, oh, Tesla's moving off of it because it's not energy efficient. And the belief was that they had probably sold some or much of their Bitcoin before making that announcement, that it was a bit of a pump and dump there. And I mean, technically not the correct term for it, but you guys would understand what I'm referring to there. I'm not necessarily, anyway, that's fine. So that revealed that he still had it, which was good for the price. While Dorsey said the cryptocurrency could become a major part of Twitter's strategy going forward. We'd like more details there, Jack. Okay. This week, news of an Amazon job posting also sent Bitcoin surging. Wasn't this week. The company said it was recruiting for a digital currency and blockchain product lead. Yes. They've come out and clarified that they would not accept Bitcoin at least this year. So it's also possible that Amazon is a big enough company to potentially go its own direction with like, no, they're going to have their own cryptocurrency that's just for use on Amazon. Or let me rephrase that, not even just for use on Amazon, but that can be used on Amazon. Like they're a big enough deal that they could branch into the cryptocurrency world and potentially be successful there with their own coin. So I would guess that that's more where that's heading, but we'll see. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. We're inspired by the innovation happening in the cryptocurrency space and are exploring what this could look like on Amazon, a spokesperson for the company told CNN Business at the time. We believe the future will be built on new technologies that enable modern, fast, and inexpensive payments and hope to bring the future of Amazon to Amazon customers as soon as possible. Do we have any more on this? Yeah, that's more about Amazon. So we can click through on their Amazon thing. I really don't think this was this week. No, it was not. Um, yeah, so that's wrong. But it's a quote, so that's why it's saying that
If
because
you
it's when
ask a
they. Oh,
room full of cryptocurrency
stop,
enthusiasts, what
stop.
word best
Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so that part of it is potentially wrong, but in general, we still got news here, and this is interesting. It is more cryptocurrency adoption. By the end of the year, AMC is intending to accept Bitcoin as payment. Bitcoin is, of course, the most famous, the most name recognition of cryptocurrencies. Perhaps not the best for day-to-day transactions. The you know general belief would be in a longer term sense that you think of Bitcoin as more like something more permanent that you hold on to, like gold, and perhaps Ethereum is something that you go and do your shopping with. Doesn't have to be those two, but you'd think something like that. Bitcoin isn't super efficient, super fast, etc. for that kind of thing. And the issue still with cryptocurrency in general is the price can move quite a bit. That's why you've got the you bought a pizza with your Bitcoin and then it's worth millions later type concern. So obviously, as time goes on, well, we've seen primarily that at least the main cryptocurrencies tend to be crashing upward slowly. Not saying that they will continue to do so, but what we've seen with them is that they've gone, hey, they're working their way up, they crash, they lose a bunch of their value, they work their way up, they crash, lose a bunch of their value, work their way up, they crash, lose a bunch of their value. That's sort of what we've seen. And it's like, oh, look, it lost 80% of its value. Now it lost 60% of its value. Now it lost 40% of its value, but it shoots back up to new heights. And by shoots, I'm not saying overnight type thing. Like, this is a question, and there still are more questions surrounding regulation, the future, actual mainstream adoption, but this is another piece in the addition to mainstream adoption. We have, Tesla originally made its announcement that you'll be able to buy Teslas even if they then pulled back from it. AMC saying, hey, you'll be able to buy movie theater tickets. El Salvador potentially going that route of, oh yeah, that'll work as a national currency there. So again, this is happening. You have Tesla does it and then backs off. You have AMC, who is potentially a struggling company in some ways. They're in a tricky industry. You have El Salvador doing it for similar reasons, but that's who you're going to get first. So this looks like good news to Bitcoin to me, because as AMC does it, the other thing that this does is it gets more expertise in the business world on how to bring this on. So then even if AMC were to fail, or even if AMC does this successfully, fails, whatever, there's now more expertise that goes to new companies. Like, oh, well, we did this at AMC, etc. Oh, well, AMC, we know that company, we get that, and that's better than bringing in some crypto bro to be like, oh yeah, you can do it like this, etc. Like, no, this has actually been done. We did it for AMC. We had these problems. Now let's go do it for McDonald's, or whatever the case may be. So like, that's good, because people are resources that tend to get shuffled around. People don't mostly do their 30, 40-year careers at the same business anymore. They move around, and this would be the type of selling point that someone would use to get hired. So this, to me, looks like a very good sign for Bitcoin. Continued good sign for Bitcoin here. I do have good long-term beliefs on the value of Bitcoin, and hey, this looks good. For AMC, this is a reasonable move. The reason you do Bitcoin is, again, because it's got the most name recognition of cryptocurrencies. I think there's some things that make it not potentially ideal to actually be your, how shall I say, your cryptocurrency for buying your popcorn with, for buying your tickets with, but that's okay. Some people will do it for the novelty. The question is the infrastructure not worth it? And the answer is probably yes. I could easily be wrong on that, but my guess would be and sort of their costs for having the infrastructure to be able to do that for movie tickets and popcorn that not very many people are actually going to use, at least in the next couple of years, is probably not worth. That said, it gets you some news article hits like this one that are interesting. It gets you some fans in the crypto world, which is cool. And AMC, doing cool things, etc., does tend to, in some ways, reward you with business in the future, even if it's not actually business purchased in Bitcoin there. So I think it's, a reasonable move from AMC. I don't think it's the best move. I think this is much better news for Bitcoin than it is for AMC. Um, but it is interesting to see them making this kind of move, certainly. So I don't think these guys allow for comments here. CNN, no. CNN, no comment section. Most of the news companies are cowards now when it comes to their comment sections. That's fine. Let's see what we've got here. Blah says, can we pay for VOD reviews in crypto? We can set that up. We can set that up. AMC was up 5.3%, but Temporal said it wasn't the time to buy AMC. I mean, it's always a question of you never know what the news around the corner is, but long term I would consider much better prospects for Bitcoin than AMC. Again, I'm not specifically saying short AMC or buy Bitcoin. I'm not specifically saying either of those things. I'm not giving you direct advice. You should go do your own research, do your own, hey, come to an understanding, make your own financial decisions. But I personally look at this and go, this is potentially interesting for AMC, and AMC could come out of this, but this is the thing that you do when you're struggling. You try to make changes, you try to do stuff, you try to do things that bring attention to you, that could do a bump, that could change your paradigm a little bit, and this is potentially that. I think AMC's more likely to be successful moves will be bigger pivots, like can they get into a little bit more of the okay, can they make some of the streaming money? Can they do things like that? And they have done some negotiations for things like that, which do have a bit more promise in my opinion. Can you renegotiate for lower rates? Can you change the industry standard effectively for hey how the films get paid versus how the theaters get paid? And you may be able to because it's one of those like, well, we're going out of business if this doesn't happen, and we're a huge chain, and all the other huge chains are right behind us. So definitely some things that are interesting there. YS says, I wish I invested in crypto, but it scared me too much when it was taking off. I hear you, YS. You invested in a REIT after watching Temporal's real estate video? Ah, happy to hear it, YS. Happy to hear it. I hope that's worked out well for you and continues to do so. You would buy Amazon crypto? Yeah, yeah. Investing in monopolies that we seem to have very little interest in regulating is generally a good idea. So cancel the short on AMC that I just put in based on your advice. You're gonna get me into trouble, blah. Nah, keep the meme stocks. Okay. So yeah, I don't think there's too much to go into here, and I don't mind keeping this one short. There's now tax consequences with crypto. That's true. Microsoft has been your favorite investment so far. That makes sense. That didn't originally exist with crypto. Yeah, and there's always going to be more regulation, and we even saw that in the infrastructure bill, whether it's in or out in this version of it. I don't remember because that's been in. I'm talking the U.S. infrastructure bill that's being negotiated. Um, so yeah, and I'm not too worried about that. Like, yes, regulation could be okay. That's the end. That destroys it. That makes it not work, etc. But regulation is pretty normal. Like the everyday people just aren't going to jump in until there's certain guarantees that they can hold on to it. They're not going to lose it. Things like that. Like and some people who are really like, no, this is what makes it special. This is what makes it good. Aren't going to like that, and I get that, but a little bit of regulation surrounding this stuff doesn't potentially worry me. Like it's going to happen. It's either going to happen or it's going to get, you know, forced effectively out of existence. And a little bit of regulation surrounding this, as long as it's not absolutely terrible, is really just a sign of greater adoption. And it's going to make more people comfortable adopting it. So, yeah, potentially good if you're invested. Potentially. Black & Decker is doing well today. Good, good. And then Wise says, I would invest in Apple if I didn't hate the cult about it. Be careful. Be careful. Obviously, I mean, everyone should be careful considering everyone should be careful about, well, that's to each their own. Some people go, hey, they want their investments to be based on what they believe in from like an ethical standard, believe in from like a oh this is cool, etc. Other people are gonna go no, you should do what makes the most money. Like this is how the game is played. You should do it. But that's a decision for everyone to make on their own. Yeah. Wes wants to invest in lithium stocks, but not sure you have the patience for that to pay off. Fair enough. Garrett says, ooh, Temporal talking crypto, one of my favorite Overwatch content creators talking about one of your favorite topics. Happy to hear it. Happy to hear it. If you have any comments or questions or anything to throw in here, Garrett, please do. Otherwise, this will probably be a short one. We covered the article. We talked about other things that have happened to Bitcoin recently. We didn't go super, super in depth with AMC here, but we did talk again about how this is probably better news for Bitcoin than AMC. Though it's not necessarily a bad move for AMC. Uh, Dave says you can still make decent money off crypto. I bought Polygon near the start of this year and got a 10x return. I don't see it becoming a currency though. It's more like investing in stocks. Um, yeah, my concern always becomes they're probably not all going to hold on. It probably is going to mostly like you're seeing some 10x stuff, but you're seeing some 10x stuff. You're seeing some of this in sort of the same format of how do I want to put this? Everyone's looking for another thing like Bitcoin that could have that can have the giant things. Everyone's having the, oh, they don't want to miss out on it, etc. Everyone's trying their hand in, oh, let's try to build a new crypto. It's not very hard. And that's true, but we're ultimately going to probably consolidate down to just a few that actually see use, and that'll sort of be the end, and it'll be hard to break in again after that. That's what I would expect to happen. Again, you should do your own research. I am not giving you guys specific financial advice. Um, but as we look at that, you can go, hey, as we go in here, or it's probably going to narrow down to just a few players. And we don't know exactly who those few players will be. Like, we might be looking at this and going, oh, it's going to be Bitcoin. And yeah, that's probably one of the best bets, but you don't know that. This can be like the Laserdisc versus VHS, where it would have been like, hey, Laserdisc is the better technology, or this or that, or you'd expect this to be the one that makes it, but it's actually the underdog VHS that goes and makes it type thing. Like, we don't know, but you don't see very many Laserdiscs around anymore. Now, you don't see very many VHSs around either, but the point is that I don't think it's long term wise to go, oh, let's be in a bunch of other stuff. I think you want to go, hey, I think it's going to be this one. I think it's going to be this one type thing. So I would be hesitant to go too wide unless you see serious technology advancements, but technology advancements aren't enough. Like if you go, oh, what this is built on is really, really good. Okay, but is it good enough to beat the brand power of some of the bigger ones like Bitcoin and Ethereum? Okay. Madara Mining is a Canadian stock that you want to invest in, but Chase won't let me because its value is too low. Okay. ACTV is up 6.5% over the last 5 days. ATVI, I mean. And YS says I bought ATVI. Okay. It was over 100 in like June. I expect it to be 120 when Overwatch 2 D4 drops. Could be in 2023. Yeah, that would be the concern there. You've had Microsoft for 5 years now. Cool. No regrets. Yep. Microsoft does pay dividends. Yep. With lithium stocks, you're more concerned you won't see returns for like 10 years and you don't know if it'll be those companies or if those companies will be bought or what. I get it. I get it. It's a little tough. Mm-hmm. Your problem with Apple isn't ethical ones. It's just that you personally hate its followers. So cultish, so can't. I mean, ethical isn't quite the right word, but like, I understand what you're saying, but you have to make the decision of whether those types of things are going to influence your decisions, whether you want to invest sort of in what you feel is, I mean, right is still the right word, even if you don't want to put ethical there. If you want to support something that you don't like and you don't like the cult potentially surrounding it, or if you want to put stuff where you think it's going to make money. And you can consider both of those things, but you have to decide, what level of impact is this point 0.8 and this is point 0.3 in terms of making your decisions, or is this 1 and this is 0, or is this, like how much influence does each of those things have in your investment decisions? And you have to answer that question for yourself. Okay. Okay. The I get every new iPhone uses a Mac plus MacBook plus Apple TV crowd. Yeah, I understand, but I don't know that that's really holding on. Like, it's not really working to pump out new phones every year. It's just not as effective as it was, and everyone knows it. Um, and we are seeing some movement forward on right to repair, which could also be not amazing there. And we saw a little bit in terms of, oh, wait, no, you really can't send out an update to slow down the phone once the new one is released in terms of legality, which, again, wasn't like instantly they're destroyed or anything. But do you see more innovation there? Would be my question, YS. Do you see. Oh, it would have been, sure, but is it now? And that becomes the better question. And it might be because, again, as investing in the big stuff is generally pretty safe, pretty good, but do you really see it seeing much growth from there, or is it just doing it from a near monopoly power type position? At this rate, we're going to pay for Overwatch 2 with Bitcoin. I mean, yeah, looking at some of this stuff where, we see AMC, we saw Tesla in and then out, we saw El Salvador. We're going to see more adoption, like I said, as a result of this, because it starts building up a little bit of a brain trust, a little bit of a network of people that are in respectable jobs that then go mercenary themselves out to go get the next job to say, oh, well, you need me at this next job that they actually want because I've worked with Bitcoin before. I've implemented systems to accept Bitcoin before. And it's like, oh, well, that might be the key. And, that may become the flavor of the month, flavor of the quarter, flavor of the year for like, oh, yes, this is the thing to move in and go do, which you do sometimes see that sort of thing happen. Okay. I think it has great design and marketing, but not innovation. But at one point, it did have innovation, and that's sort of the problem. It's the simplistic interface that people that aren't power users love. Yep, yep. Okay, okay. That's the innovation. Sure, sure. And that's always been their thing. That was the single button mouse that they went with back in, the computer day as well. Okay, so I think that's going to do it for this one. If you guys are enjoying this type of content, please do like and subscribe, as that A tells me that you'd like to see more of this type of content, and B helps out the channel. Both of those things are good. If you're looking to get Overwatch coaching, because that is a thing that we do, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, see what sort of promos, special events we have going on. But you can also join the Discord if you just want to be able to see when we go live, when we're going to cover topics, what the topic is going to be, so that you can get Discord pings when we go live if it's a topic that's interesting to you. You can see, oh, this is going to be about AMC and Bitcoin. I want to be here because I have stuff I want to say about that. Oh, this is going to be a Master's Level Mercy review. I want to be there because that's a level and a hero that you're interested in. Oh, this is about how Activision did in their last quarterly report. I want to be there because this is interesting to me. You can be in the Discord, you can get those things. But again, if you're enjoying the content, please do hit that like button. Please do subscribe if you're not already. Really does help me out there. Okay, thanks, guys.